winners and losers is very black and white. The good thing was that there was no major taxation, so no sector as such got a very negative vibe out of the budget. Especially
Hmm.
some getting like hike on cigarettes, and that did not came through. So I think not doing a lot of negative thing was also a positive thing.
Hello everyone, my name is Hridyansh and you are watching ClickTax. As we know, Budget 2021 bill has arrived and also about its allocation to different sectors. But still, for those who are into investing and would like to know about how and in what ways Budget 2021 bill has impacted the stock market. So today in this video, we will be able to know about all these things like Budget 2021 bill and its impact on stock market. Today we have Amit Kumar Gupta ji with us, and he will help us to understand these things very in a better way. So, Amit ji, first of all, we would like to thank you for providing us your valuable time and sharing your all thoughts and views on this topic, which is also a very trending one. Budget 2021 bill, and everyone is talking about.
Yeah, thank you, Hriday, and thank you, ClickTex, for having me. It's a pleasure to.
Thank you, sir. It's a pleasure to have you on our show. And I think you are the most appropriate person to help us to understand all these things and all these impacts over stock market. So, although I have prepared a list of some relevant questions, but before jumping to them, I would like to ask that can you please give a brief understanding so that a layman can understand what is Budget 2021?
So, in short, budget is basically a count of statement of what government wants to do in the coming financial year. So, the budget is presented 2 months before the start of the financial year.
Yeah.
So, you know how much the government is spending across various sectors. You also know how they are going to actually raise the money. Which they are going to spend. So that money, whether that is coming from any form of taxation, or whether that money is coming from divestment, where you are selling stakes in certain PSU companies, or you are selling some non-core assets. And based on that, you get a sense of how money is going to be spent by the government in the economy, and accordingly you can have an idea how to position your portfolios and how to do investment in the stock markets.
Okay. So now I would like to ask that what is that interesting thing that you notice in this budget? What is your
So
view?
if I have to describe the budget, I would say it was a pretty brave budget as compared to what happened in the last few years. So as we know that this time we had this corona situation, and the resources really restrained. But the finance minister, took all that one side, and she refused to yield to any kind of fiscal pressures. As I said, she also refused the temptation to have additional taxation. So luckily we almost at both levels, at the corporate level and at the consumer level, we did not get any new income tax slabs or any additional taxation. So that was a big temptation which was avoided. Apart from that, there have been already a lot of measures which have been taken uh, under the Atmanirbhar Bharat campaign in the last financial year, in the current financial
Right,
year,
right.
all through 2020, that has supported the economy. But for me, the one of the key points was the recognition of the new economy. So the e-commerce worker people, the startups like ClickTax, people like gig workers, people who are involved in e-learning, all those were given prominence in this budget, and that's a sign of pragmatism that government wants to include these people also in their vision and in their way of taking the economy forward. And apart from that, I think uh, letting go of strategic PSUs and first time we are talking about privatization of these PSUs. So my sense is that these are very good signs for the coming future. But having
Right.
said that, the caveat is that we need to see how much of this is executed on the ground. So
Hmm.
in the past few instances, we haven't had the execution. So we can hope that this time when the vision is there, the execution is even better, and then the Indian economy can be at a much faster pace in the next 12 to 18 months.
Right. So, according to you, it's going to have a great impact over the economy and over other sectors.
Oh, so my sense is that the groundwork is done. The budgeting which has been done in with respect to spending, a lot of that is going into the capex of building infra and construction, etc. So the building basic blocks are there, but that needs to be executed at a at a good pace. Unfortunately, last year the progress was slow because of the lockdown and because economy is still operating at 70% almost. So I think uh, the basic blocks are there, but we need to see how fast we can run and how fast we can execute those in the coming time, and that would decide the trajectory of the stock markets as well.
Right. Great. So now coming to the main part of this session today. So I would like to ask what are the impacts of budget over the stock market, because हमने देखा है कि जैसी बजट आया स्टॉक मार्केट
Hmm.
निफ्टी सेंसेक्स में काफी बूस्ट हो गया एकदम से पॉइंट्स. सो उसके ऊपर आपका क्या कहना है?
So, I mean, I would not like to comment on the levels of like stock markets, because these are very short-term things. And what happens is a lot of the times this is dependent on how you are positioned before the budget. So this time we actually had a 7-8% fall before the budget itself, because there were fears of taxation, there were fears of Corona cess maybe coming in, etc. But when those fears were found unwanted, and there was negatives as such in the budget, then market reverted to the mean. So we had the 7-8% fall, and then market recovered that in 2-3 sessions. So my sense is that ultimately budget, more than the budget, it's the execution of those policies and all that vision which is there in the budget, which is which is more critical. And that would decide how your portfolio companies are going to perform going forward.
Okay. So according to you, is it going to be retainable, this hike? What would you say?
You mean the
We
rally which has
will,
happened?
right, right. We will be able to sustain it.
See, again, that depends on the execution. In couple of sectors, the rally could sustain. Again, I would try and avoid commenting on the sort of index levels, because I think if you take the historical PE values, and PE is not the perfect measure of measuring it, but if you take the historic PEs, then markets are overvalued. But what is happening is, because of a lot of liquidity which is being provided by RBI and other global central banks, we are going to see the pendulum in the stock market moves to the extreme side, and markets are never perfectly balanced. They are either undervalued or overvalued.
Hmm.
But we need to understand where we are. So my sense is that we are overvalued, but not to the very extreme. So my sense is that opportunities are very sector specific and stock specific at this moment. So Nifty may come up and down, Nifty may correct, Nifty may do a time correction also over the next 6 months. But if you're in the right stocks, then as a portfolio of stocks, you will be probably better placed investing at these levels also.
Right. So if we look into the allocation of budget into different sectors, so what will be those sectors and stocks which we can say that they are the winner and they are the loser?
So, I mean, winners and losers is very black and white. the good thing was that there was no major taxation, so no sector as such got a very negative vibe out of the budget, especially
Hmm.
some expecting like hike on cigarettes, and that did not came through. So I think not doing a lot of negative thing was also a positive thing in a way. As far as the sectors which I think are going to benefit most is what is happening with the capex spending, which is going to come in the infra and the construction sector. So they have budgeted around 6.5% of the GDP this time, whereas in the last 5 years, the average is about 5.3, 5.4. So that is good 1.2% higher than what is the 5 year average. So my sense is that, and along with that, they have certain other measures like a DFI coming in, the direct financing, infra financing institution. So my sense is that this sector may get benefit over the next few months, few years, and we are going to see much more excitement in that. So that is one, infra and construction, where we are positive even before the budget. And if you had a look at the consultation,
Hmm.
which all the stakeholders in November by the finance ministry, so they were very clear that some sort of this will be coming in the budget. So we had bought a couple of infra names, the road builders, pre-budget itself, and on the budget day we have increased a little bit of allocation in them. So that is one top sector, and top sector after the analysis of budget. Uh, and one sector where I'm not convinced is the PSU. So there is again a lot of noise on the privatization part, but my sense is it's difficult to do privatization. It's not going to be easy. So the good thing is the intent; they want to do it, but how they are going to do it, there is not much clarity. Even I think the LIC IPO, that is not going to be easy to crack. There is going to be a lot of amendments done in the LIC Act, and I don't see any divestment money coming in the first half of next financial year. So probably only after October 2021, we are going to actually see some divestment money coming in. So
Right.
in that sense, I would avoid PSUs as of now. If we see some progress, some substantial progress being made in PSUs as far as the privatization is concerned, then we may consider them again in second half. But as of now, we are going to uh, put away the noise and not going to invest in any of the PSUs.
Right. So if talking about the execution part, आपको क्या लगता है कि अगर ये बजट जैसा अब इस समय आया हुआ है, अगर ये सही से इम्प्लीमेंट होता है तो इंडिया की इकोनॉमी या इंडिया का फ्यूचर क्या होने वाला है?
I mean, one budget will not decide or make or break India's economy. Uh, but we should not look at the budget only in isolation. अभी पिछले 4-5 साल में there have been a lot of good things which has happened. Whether it is GST, whether it is RERA, whether it is sort of IBC, and all these good things are now coming into the coming into the picture. Along with that, you have this global central bank liquidity which is coming there, RBI cutting rates, and keeping the yields at the end. So I think all these factors are coming in together, and which is going to cause a rally. Having said that, the caveat is that still the stock market is a little bit disconnected from the reality, and that is always going to be the case. Stock market is not a representation of what is happening in the Indian economy. It is basically a 15-20% of the companies which are listed. They're doing well, and they are telling what the stock market is doing. So I would avoid the temptation of correlating the exact having the exact correlation between what is happening in the economy and what is happening in the stock market. There is still a lot of stress, I think, in the retail segment. A lot of the businesses are still not able to operate fully at the corona level, especially in the travel, tourism, hospitality sectors, even the aviation sectors.
Hmm.
So we will see in the next 6 months how these sectors recover and how much NPA we get in the system when the restrictions are lifted. and hopefully, by all the measures which have been taken in the budget and in the past few years, all that will come together and we can have a sustainable rally, and we can make some money for our investors.
Right. So सर लास्टली मैं आपसे पूछना चाहूँगा कि
Mhm.
क्योंकि मोस्ट ऑफ द परसेंटेज ऑफ पॉपुलेशन approx 90% are from middle class, right? And those who are into investing are also majorly from this proportion, right? So what would you like to say to them to whether to invest in this situation or to hold?
So, you cannot be fully out of stock markets and fully in. I mean, that happens only, very rarely. And you can be fully out. And if you were out, let's say last year, March, April, you decided to, come out of the markets, then you would have missed the best rally in last 10 years. Okay. Similarly, if you were not participating fully, then also you would have missed. So I know a lot of investors who were risk averse. They did not participated, or they participated with 30, 40, 50% of their actual portfolio money. So that sort of is a something which comes with discipline, that you want to invest in the market, then you need to be systematic about it. You need to have a advisor with you who can guide you, how much to invest. So for example, currently we are almost fully invested, but whenever we get an opportunity where we think the stock is really overheated, and the stock is covering a price which is, like, let's say 2 years 3 years down the line we were expecting, and the stock has outperformed our expectations, there we are booking some profits and getting into the cash. So my sense is, my advice to all the investors is, participate with caution at this point of time. Don't buy and sell blindly. Have an advisor, so that you can he can guide you accordingly. But do participate, because you never know how much this rally is going to continue, given the liquidity situation currently. And I think we are going to see, whenever the markets correct, whether it is 10-15%, I don't know how it's going to correct, but whenever it is going to correct more than 15-20%, if it corrects, then we are going to see a lot of domestic money coming in to the stock markets.
Right.
Because right now what has happened is, as soon as the post the US elections, a lot of people have, and a lot of HNIs have actually booked profits, good profits, who have stayed during this March crash, and all through the last financial year. But that money which has booked profit, that may come back into the markets at some point of time. Whether it comes at the current level, or whether it comes 20% down the levels, I don't know. But my sense is that given the investment opportunities which are there currently, equity markets are a interesting proposition in the whole asset allocation, and we are going to see a lot of domestic money coming back into the stock markets.
Right. That's great, Amit ji. All right. So I think it's a very wonderful, informative session today. And being an expert, you can only tell us all these things in such a in such a detailed manner. So thank you very much for your time, for your valuable time and contribution. And I believe those who will watch this session will definitely get some of the insights and how to and what to do actually after this budget came up. So
I hope that was useful, and thank you for having me. And look forward again.
thank you, sir. We would be happy to reconnect with you in future. And also we
Thank you.
best wishes for your upcoming journey. Have a great day, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.